Great to have you back here on The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa.
Good morning, Mr. Ezekiel Nya-Etok.
Good morning. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for joining us. Taking a look at the papers this morning, we see two papers, the Daily Sun and the Daily Independent, talk about insecurity and Sheikh Gumi's opinion. Gumi here on the Daily Independent is saying that security operatives are working with bandits. And on the Daily Sun, he's saying that military colluding with bandits. That's according to Gumi. How do you see the story? An allegation here from Sheikh Gumi saying that the military and the bandits are working hand in hand.
Yeah, really concerned about the, I'm not sure if I should use the word utterances of Sheikh Gumi. He's somebody that has a reasonable number of following on account of his being a Muslim cleric. It's very important. As a result, whatever he says, he should know that it is going to be understood, interpreted within the context of his office. Now, there are many of us non-Muslims that really want to understand the Muslim religion, what they stand for, what they believe. And a man like Sheikh Gumi is a very, very veritable face of the Muslim religion. But some of his utterances of recent have cast a lot of doubt in the minds of very, very neutral people as per whether it is him as an individual speaking or as a teacher of the Muslim religion, so to speak, teaching. Because when you say that some people only kidnap for money while others kill as a result, that those who kidnap for money are people you should negotiate and dialogue with. It rattles something in my brain. Secondly, when he comes to cast a lot of aspersion on the military, my problem is not because there isn't some truth to some extent. They say there's no smoke without fire. But you see, you have to be careful with your diction, with your choice of words. You have to be extremely laconic at a stage in your life where you don't have to paint everybody with the same brush, because it can dampen the enthusiasm and the zeal of the military. Okay? You must be able to isolate. I saw the Director General of Customs making very, very hard statements. I think those videos went viral. Those of you that are compromising, this will not happen except this happen. You understand me? He was careful to address the bad eggs in the system. In every system, we know bad eggs exist. But when you carry the same brush and paint everybody, it's not wise. But this is the most worrisome part of it. There is a man called Reverend Father Kuka. You read his statement, and Muslims and Christians alike agree that he addresses fundamental issues. Okay? Now, within hours of him making any of those statements, the presidency will literally abuse him verbally. But all these things that Sheikh Gumi has been saying, you are journalists, so you know more than I do. Please let me know one instance that the presidency has cautioned him or called him to order. So the question is, could he be a voice of Esau speaking through Jacob? Or there's something I need to know how to draw the line, because there is something definitely missing.
Okay.
That's actually a very good point you've made. I hope that we come back to it. Let's also move still on the punch this morning. There's a story there about petrol smuggling. It says 102 million liters were consumed in May. And of course, analysts have put, the number of vehicles in Nigeria side by side, of course, businesses and all of that. And, constant and, always said, that Nigeria cannot consume that much petrol in a month. The NNPC is saying that these figures are that high because of smuggling. What's your response to the NNPC's statements?
I think that I have maintained a singular position even when PDP was in power. This concept of subsidy of fuel supposedly for the poor is one of the greatest frauds in this country. Fraud on the poor, fraud on the nation, fraud on the system. And let them just say they want to have this system that they're able to make all sorts of money and everything. I have no problem with it. But please don't tie it on the poor. And I've said it, I as an individual, because of how God has blessed me and the things I have to do, if you come into my house, you probably have up to 6, 7 SUVs. I consume more fuel daily than the whole of my village put together, if not the whole of my ward put together. I consume more fuel as an individual, and I am nothing compared to the executives that have all manner of fleet of vehicles. They have all manner, and you are subsidizing this fuel supposedly so that the poor will not suffer. That is the height of balderdash. Pardon my language. Doesn't make sense. Provide common transportation for the poor. Let the fuel have a market reflective price, so you don't have to smuggle. You don't have to tell us all this, equalization and all those stories that run into billions on a daily basis. It doesn't make sense. So for as long as we perpetuate this fraud, we keep having figures that are just mind-boggling, figures that don't even make sense. You have 3 cars and you are buying fuel worth 5 cars. I mean, who does that?
All right, we see also that in Anambra State, Soludo has picked the Abga Guba ticket, and Okeke faction of the party has suspended him. What do you think about what's playing out in Anambra at the moment?
I think that we have more serious national issues. Leave politicians to play their game. Let us talk what will help the common man. That's politics, and it will always be there.
Okay.
It's about game of their interest. It has nothing to do with the common man. So let's leave them and move on, if you don't mind.
All right. Do you have a comment on CSOs here saying that they should basically sue Loretta Onoche and the National Assembly should reject her candidature as INEC commissioner on the grounds that she's a card-carrying member of the APC and she has dual citizenship of Nigeria and the UK?
I have so much comment on it. It goes back to the presidency. The Bible states that all things are lawful, but not all things are expedient. The same Bible also says that wisdom is profitable to direct. You have a woman that even APC members will agree that this lady is a committed lawyer. By the time I, at my age and stage in life, wear a dress that has the president's face top to bottom. I mean, no louder statement to be made. You could support a system, but you be discreet about it. Everybody has certain level of political, lineage or things, But when you take it to an absurd level, it marks you out as somebody that is fanatically partisan. And such a person, it is very difficult for you to put that person in charge of an electoral body. To wait for these people to go to court or this. The president should have known from the beginning that she really wouldn't be somebody to be put up for such a, because you want to give the face of an INEC that is impartial, an INEC that can be trusted, an INEC that does not lean to any side. You want to give Nigerians an electoral body that Nigerians, justice should not only be done, but should be seen to be done. So that should be your guiding principle with INEC. You can do other things, but not INEC.
Nya-Etok, so do you think the presidency doesn't know, or the people who have...
They know, they couldn't just be bothered. There's a way that we have come to a nation where the president is not a servant but a monarch. And it's very, very, very important we look at this. The president is your servant that should be called to order, that should be afraid of the people. That when begging for a mandate, begging the people to please, on 3 occasions, on the 4th occasion, the people say, okay, now he gets that mandate and becomes Lord over the people. And whatever the people say, he carries like Nero, headphones, puts here, even when Rome is burning. It doesn't make sense. The president and the presidency have to come to know that they are chief servants and not lords. And when they do that, they will start to care about what happens in the system. A leader does not pander to everything that the public says. No, you provide leadership. But somewhere along the line, the public will get to know that, oh, you took a decision in their larger interest. But when it comes to a situation where national issues that, look at the social media, Nigerians are awash, they are incensed. And you just act as if, excuse me, like we are irritant. As far as I'm concerned, I see myself as an irritant to the president, where my opinion can only annoy him. And not somebody is like, oh, what's Nya-Etok saying? Okay, that makes sense. And then explains to me why he took that decision. He owes me that duty, that obligation. And some people are like, does he know who is talking about the president? And that's the mentality we must change. Our governors must report to us. They are our servants. The way they live is my taxpayers' money. The money they eat is our taxpayers' money. These are our servants. It's an error that the servants are on horsebacks and the princes are on foot. That is the situation in Nigeria today. And these elected officers, they need to think twice.
Okay, let's move to something that I'm sure we must have heard a lot of times, and it's statements from the presidency saying they will expose this person or expose that person. On the Daily Independent, it says here the Senate indicts NSA over $2.3 billion, 1 billion naira, 196,000 euros NPA funds. It says it vows to expose government agencies refusing to account for public funds. So, like I said, it's not the first time we're hearing the government threaten to expose persons who, may be mismanaging government funds, but we never actually get to see that happen. What's your reaction to another story again, similar?
Yeah, brother, I've learned I've come to terms with the strategy that our government people adopt. When they want you to come and negotiate and discuss with them, they come to us in the public and say, we're going to expose you, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. They come to the public and make those public statements. But as soon as you go back to them and say, bros, take it easy. Okay, how do we quit? It ends there. So I think that they come to the public, they use us as bait. They use us to say, look, we're going to do this. And the people can come behind them at night and they settle, and the case just becomes a family matter. And my question is, why do you want to come and tell us these things? I am going to do. Why don't you just do it? I think the media should stop, reporting this there. I am going to. Let the media start reporting their actions. I have, not their intentions. Because we become heavy on intention. I'm going to, on threats. We've become very good at that. It's become a good tool to them. Just for the people involved to come and discuss and negotiate with them. And then it becomes a family thing. It's a strategy that is working for them. But we need to wake up. We need to wise up. When the public starts to show no interest in all those things and say, please, don't tell me intentions, report actions. When we do that, I think they will start to think twice about it.
Okay, on the Punch newspaper, there's a story about Nigeria's debt profile. It reads, endless borrowing, experts worry. Okonjo-Iweala Ahmed differ on Nigeria's debt. So while Nigeria's finance minister put our debt to GDP ratio at 29%, Okonjo-Iweala actually said it had risen to 35%, and this was at an African Development Bank high-level knowledge event that happened on Wednesday. So Ahmed here is now saying that Nigeria plans to still borrow more to fund its infrastructure projects. But Okonjo-Iweala, on the other hand, is saying that Nigeria's debt is increasing and that our debt profile has increased to over 33 trillion naira as of March 31st. Where do you come in, Mr. Nya-Etok?
You see,
Hello, can you hear us, Mr. Nya-Etok?
the thing is that out of things that we operate by our templates, they look at facts and figures, and those facts and figures are available to them. As a result, we need to be careful as Nigerians to really start to look at facts and figures in our larger interest. The borrowing has gone, all those don't tell me about debt to bill ratio and blah, blah. It doesn't make sense. We are borrowing too much, and I can't see where the money is going to. And then NSA is being asked to bring this amount of money. Why don't we just start by looking inwards? Where is all the monies that we are saying are missing here or unaccounted for there? Let us start from home. When we have exhausted, and Nigerians have come to terms that we have exhausted by mopping up all the funds that have been illegally acquired in Nigeria. That is step one. Step two, we all agree that any borrowing must be based on infrastructure and not borrowing for services, for consumption, which doesn't make sense. At that time, we will ask ourselves, do we need to just make do with what we have or move on? I think this conversation has to go beyond the National Assembly, who have become extremely complicit. The Nigerian system needs to come in. The professional bodies need to come in. That's why the National Consultative Front setting up certain bodies to objectively and professionally profile the things we are doing is the way that we should go. Citizens should rise up. Don't always rise up in arms. Oh, protest. It doesn't make sense. Rise up in being strategic development partners with the system. Let's join NESG, the National Consultative Front, and other professional bodies. Let's come together, form a team to network with the federal government, because sooner or later in the next 2 years they are off, and whatever mess that has been put is left to us and our children and the children's children. So the time has come when we must look at the concept of citizens' responsibility and start to play that role. I'm tired of what's the word? Accusing government. I'm tired, and we need solutions. Blaming anybody, blame game never solves any problem. We need solutions.
All right, Mr. Ezekiel Nya-Etok, thank you very much for your time and for joining us this Thursday morning.
Thank you.
Wish you a beautiful day ahead.
Thanks, it's a pleasure and a privilege. Thanks for having me. I'm really, really, really grateful.
Thanks once again.